Let Your Light Shine here. Thought I'd do another drive and talk. Why not, right? Just give you an update on my diet situation. I think from the first time I was talking to you guys about it, I was saying how I wanted to eat more protein, but what was I doing? I forgot how it was going down. Oh yeah, that's right, because I was watching some dietitian that said to try to eat 1 gram of protein per ideal body weight, which is like 100. Ideal body weight for me is I want to be 150 pounds, and I thought 150 grams of protein is a lot of protein, but it's doable. But I'm trying my best to, like, any choice of food I make is going to be higher protein, but for the most part I'm just using MyFitnessPal and I'm doing calorie counting, and so far so good. And at first I was kind of having a little bit of a stall again. I was getting really annoyed, and I thought, well, maybe I ought to cut out my pro-fees. Maybe it's dairy, maybe it's that. And I'm like, I hate it that I have to, like, cut out certain food groups. That's what was the hard part about low carb. I did really well on low carb, and I noticed I was more toned versus doing Weight Watchers where I felt skinny fat. So it definitely does a body good to eat more protein. Let's put it that way. But I didn't want to be where I can't have sugar. I want to eat whatever I want as long as I'm in my calorie deficit. And I also want to make sure I eat more protein just for the mere fact that it keeps me satiated, which works really well. So here's the deal. What I was not doing, which I'm like, Weight Watchers worked because I was counting my wine, but I was also counting my exercise. And I wasn't doing that with MyFitness. I was just counting my food, because normally, as far as drinks, wine is the only calorie drink I have. I normally just have water, once in a while Diet Coke, just sugar-free drinks. So I wasn't counting my wine intake. I was just counting my food, and then I wasn't counting my exercise. So I thought, oh, that will just, make up for that. But it really wasn't. I was stalling, and I wasn't gaining weight. I was just not losing weight. I was kind of getting annoyed. So I'm like, fine, I'll count for everything. So that gave me quite a reality check. Obviously, when I went on Weight Watchers, I had gotten to 130 pounds, and 135 was more sustainable for me. But then I got cheap and I stopped paying for the app. I tried the Value Diary app, which is great, and then I got lazy and I didn't want to track my food anymore, and that's what happened. I was compensating. Oh, that's only a couple points. Well, guess what? I gained all the weight back. So I know for me, I'm going to have to keep calorie counting to keep myself in check, which is fine. And I'm just not a naturally thin person. I've asked this one client that is, and she just doesn't think about food. And I think the only time I don't think about food is if I'm drinking protein, my pro-fees, or eating protein. It really does keep my mind off of food because I'm not hungry. So low carb was great for that reason. And if you really thought about it, I was in my calorie deficit on low carb because I didn't eat as much because it was very satiating. And she was saying the same thing, like, and she's naturally thin, but in a way she was in a calorie deficit without even counting her calories. But until I can be at that intuitive eating thing, I'm going to be counting my calories and holding myself accountable. So I started holding myself accountable with my wine, and I'm also giving myself credit for the exercise. So it made me want to exercise more. So if I had 2 cleanings in a day, I'm like, instead of dreading that, I'm actually looking forward to it, because that means more food for me to eat. Even though some nutritionists say, don't count your calories, your exercise calories. But for me, I want to, because it worked. It worked on Weight Watchers. It was exercise points that I earned, and I loved it. So when I used to go back in California, I'd go to, like, Knott's Berry Farm or something. I had a pass because I could afford that one. Disneyland was too expensive. Just walking around the park, I'm like, hey, I just earned myself, some food later today. Or I used to walk around Yorba Regional Park, which was a really pretty park. It still is, I'm sure. And I would earn myself 3 tacos at Del Taco. So it was kind of motivating to want to get up and exercise. So I'm like, I'm going to do that again. I'm going to count my calories as earned, or count my exercise as earned calories. It works. So it's been working just fine. And I'm at a new low. So I'm almost in the 160. Well, I have 2 scales. I have a scale that gives me the reality check that this is how much you really weigh, and then a nice scale So, you know, my nice scale says a lot nicer stuff, but my reality scale, it kind of jumped around, and I was at, this morning, it said 170 point, first said 169 and a half. I'm like, yes. And then I kind of go on it a couple times to like kind of, did it really say that? You know, so then it said 171, then it said 170 and a half. I'm like, okay, where are you on this scale? So it's all over the place, but at least I started out at 182, so I went down. I'm down, so it's good. It's good sign. But I want to be down to 150. That's my goal. I think that's good. I think it's sustainable. I don't want to be too thin because I'm older now, and I don't want to look old and sunken in. I don't know if I would, but I think a little chub helps with the wrinkles. Just a thought. I don't know. Plus, I think I was checking my fitness pal on how much would 150 calorie. God, people are so rude to me. Maybe I could like capture them on my camera. How rude people just don't let you in. But anyway, I was looking at like, okay, I'm 150 pounds. I want to maintain 150 pounds. My calorie intake was higher than trying to lose weight to get to 150 pounds. I'm like, yes, that's even better, because I was noticing on my fitness pal, you had to update your current weight on there. So if I'm still showing at 182, I didn't change that, but I'm not 182 anymore, I think I'll end up stalling. I think that, and I thought I heard a YouTuber talking about that you got to update your current weight because your caloric intake goes down or you'll stall. So if you're stalling, this might be one of the reasons. So I'm like, okay. So since then I've had to update my app to lower, because I'm lower now, and my intake is lower now. So I'm like, damn. So that's fine. That's written. The motivating thing is that I see it work. Every time I see a stall and it lasts for a week, I'm like, you know, screw this, it ain't working, never mind. But the 10-bite diet worked great. I think it was because I was under my calorie deficit. The only problem was I was starting to be hungry. I was like, oh, I can just 2 meals a day. I can't. So I like that as long as I eat within my caloric intake, I can snack, you know, or I can eat little meals or one big meal or save it for dinner or not save it for dinner. Like it's working better for me this way. And with having that app on my phone, it doesn't, the biggest, I think for me, the challenge is, what if I go on vacation or hang out with some folks and we go out to eat? But it's okay. I've been going out to eat so far, and I'm just saving most of my calories for dinner so I can have a meal at a restaurant. But I've been just doing Cobb salads or Caesar, or we went to Texas Roadhouse the other day because my buddy had a gift card, and I just did the sirloin steaks. They have the early bird specials with green beans as a side and the garden salad, and then I just counted for the calories and made sure, so it worked out. And so I'll be just fine. I'm happy about it. So I just wanted to give you an update on my diet and how I'm doing. I didn't want you to think I forgot about it. I'm not forgetting about it. Making sure I'm eating more protein though. This is weird for me, but I'm kind of liking sardines, which is something I thought I would never like, but it's actually, because I know it's a superfood and it's actually really good. So I've been eating sardines more too. So yeah, so that's the update. And hopefully my next update will be, you know, hey, I'm in the 160s now, and then yes, I'm 150. And if I think I can lose a little more chub, then I'll maybe go down. But I don't know if I want to get too thin. I think sometimes it's just not sustainable. And I thought 130 on Weight Watchers was not. I was starving, and so I made it 135, and then I got lazy. But in low carb, I was actually down in the 120s, and I was more toned. It was kind of weird. But that was, you know, I was also younger too. So that's all I got for you guys. Comment down below what you're doing, and let's keep each other all accountable. And that's all I got. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.